you had mentioned you were friends with Tupac.
Yeah, man.
But after he got shot, you started doing jokes about his shooting the next day.
Well, here's the thing. Pac used to always come to Fat Tuesdays. And so, he got shot at the Tyson fight that weekend in Vegas. So that Tuesday, I'm like, I got to address this. But how can I address it and not bring the mood of the audience down, right? So I remember that night, there was a singer who sang the national anthem. I think his name was Desi. I think he was managed by Tyson's management. And it was a, light-skinned, El DeBarge looking dude with the suave hair and a cream suit or whatever. And he was fucking horrible. He was horrible. So I went on stage like, yo, you heard Tupac got shot, man. I hope everything is all right. I said, I think it was a case of mistaken identity. I said, they wasn't trying to shoot Tupac. They was trying to shoot that nigga who sang the national anthem. And when I said that, the place erupted, and I went on with the joke. And then, so I addressed it, and I moved on, didn't bring the mood down to the room, and moved on with the night. The next week,
he died.
Tupac dies.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. I don't want to play a lot of Tupac songs, like, in between comics, because it may bring the mood down. How do I address this and not bring the mood down and keep the night? As a host, your job is to keep the mood light and fun, keep the show moving. I used to have a joke about black funerals and how in LA funerals are like a show. So I was like, man, Tupac had passed away. I said, look, if they have the funeral here, let's not be ghetto. And I did the joke about, funerals in LA is like a club. People ain't wearing dark clothes. They're wearing, skimpy dresses. And there's the flower guy who's at every club. He's outside selling flowers. There's niggas taking pictures by the casket. There's you go in the bathroom or the church. There's a dude in there with gum. And so I did that, went to that bit, addressed it, moved on, and, the rest was history. So it's those moments where the comedy gods smiled on me and was like, gave me that, because you kind of had no plan. Comedy is you're walking on a tightrope with no net. Yeah. So it's just like you pray that the talent that God has put in you and the comedy gods are smiling on you at that time to get through those rough moments. And I've been blessed enough to have been given that gift.
And to be fair, I remember when that shooting initially happened, and I've talked about this in some of my interviews, even like with the Outlaws, where like, you'd listen to the radio, and the radio host would be making fun of the shooting, like, oh, how's Tupac gonna rap with one lung, lung Shakur,
one ball, and all that shit.
Yeah, it'd be like, because no one expected him to die. He'd been shot before,
right?
5 shots,
that shots couldn't take it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like. Okay, he got shot and he's going to survive and make a song about it and come back 10 times harder. But then he died.
I remember where I was when I heard it. I was in my car. I was on the corner of Pico and Sepulveda. And I had just left this hardware store. And I was sitting in my car and the radio was on. And I was just sat there like, wow. I was numb. I was just numb. I was numb. Crazy.
Well, Tupac and I think Treach got into some sort of major fight. Was it at the Comedy Store?
Well, see, before my Black Night, I think Eddie Griffin was doing a night. He was the first one to kind of do it at the Comedy Store like that. And it was I don't know what happened, but it was some gang shit. And I think
I heard it was like some Rolling 60s thing, and there was a shootout or something.
Well, yeah, I think Treach, Naughty by Nature, and Tupac were sitting next to each other, and the fight broke out. And next thing you know, I just heard. I wasn't there. I just heard the stories. And like Treach, used to wear that big chain around his neck, like a straight up like chain that you pull cars with. And he took that off and just started beating the motherfucker. So that's why I say my night was probably the first successful one, because it lasted not only for 10 years when I did it, but on throughout and spread throughout the country in improvs and funny bones, everywhere in other clubs. So I always claim that it was the first successful urban night in a white club. Not that it was the first, but it was like, it's almost like Jackie Robinson is one comic Cat Williams calls it, because there was a lot of great baseball players who could have went to the majors who were Negroes, but took Jackie Robinson with the right temperament and the right person to go and integrate that sport.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, Guy Torry, you've had a great career that's continuing.
I have a great career.
You have. Well, I was going to say you had a great career that's continuing.
Oh, yeah.
To flourish.
Yes.
You're always on tour. You're always doing stand-up still.
Always, man.
As someone who's never had any, classical acting training, you have a whole list of films and TV shows under your belt.
Very blessed.
Classic roles, classic films. So congratulations, man, on everything you've accomplished and everything you're about to accomplish.
I'm not even halfway to where I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's what it is. Until next time. Peace.